Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Gray, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the top 8 books that I read in 2022 that helped improve my life, from business to relationships, and much, much more. So hopefully you guys enjoy this list. The first one up on the list is going to be 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. So I took the dust cover off, but this book is written by Jordan Peterson. He has 2 so far out now, where it's 12 Rules for Life and then 12 More Rules for Life Beyond Order. I read this one once in 2021 and then once in 2022. I also have the Beyond Order on my shelf, but for the most part, I want to stick to this book because this one specifically has... Well, I'll just read a few. Hold on. Stand up straight with your shoulders back. That's rule 1 in the book. And honestly, that one alone, I think, is powerful to all of us. And if you read the chapter, you kind of say that there's confidence in what you can do if you stand up straight with your shoulders back. Another rule that I like is tell the truth, or at least don't lie. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday and not who someone else is today. That one was definitely powerful for me, because I would see my friends and the jobs they were getting and the schools they were going to and things that they were doing. Some of my friends are married now. Like, just growing up and seeing all of that, the way that I would look at it is I would think that either I'm behind or I'm not doing enough. And seeing that and then realizing that, you know, I'm farther along this year coming into 2023 than when I came into 2022. I have more money. I moved out. I have a new business. I have all these things that I'm doing. I have a job that I genuinely like. I'm in a relationship that I'm happy in. Like, things like that are definitely important to notice, because when you're comparing yourself to others, you might not realize how much actual good stuff you have to be grateful for. The next book on our list is The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. Now, really quick before we hop into this, I did make a Billionaires Book Club video on this one, so if you guys want to check that out, click the link right up there in the corner, in one of the corners. And I broke down the book and I went in depth. So if you like what you hear in this video about this book, definitely check it out. Oh, my exact note in the book, you can actually see it. I don't remember when I started reading this, but I finished August 28th, 2022. Loved it. And then I said, "To living well and free, Grayson Devendorf," and I signed to the front of it. But basically, this book is how Timothy Ferriss, managed to escape the 9-to-5, and he lives anywhere and he does anything. He's super interesting as a person, for sure. But this book definitely, I broke it down in that entire video, but it has ways to create processes and automatic things that happen in the background that make you money, and how to automate your life to the point where you don't need to be a millionaire to have what we imagine to be a millionaire's life. Okay, now this book, thousands upon thousands of dollars by this book alone. So this list is in no particular order, by the way, but if you were going to get a book, this one, 100% this one. It's by Donald Miller. It's called Business Made Simple, and it's a 60-day breakdown of how to run a business, how to market, how to manage, how to be a good leader, how to do sales. Basically, all of it is broken down in 60 days. So 3 or 4 pages a day. So even if you don't read, this is going to change your life. And I sound like a salesperson, and I really wish that he and I were working together on this, or if it was sponsored or anything like that. But it's not. It's a very good book. And honestly, it's made me lots of money. It's made people I know lots of money. And it's just changed how we look at business. And it's essentially, I mean, he describes it as business school in a book. So if you're a business major, or you're interested in starting your own business, or even as an employee of a business right now, I've noticed that even this alone has made me a better, more valuable employee. And it could even up your salary in that way, of you're providing more value to your employer and then capitalizing on the value that you're adding. And then to move a little bit away from the business aspect, but not entirely, our 4th book on the list is Ikigai. It's a book about Japanese culture and how people live longer. I don't know how to say the word because I've read it so much. Centurion? I don't know how to actually say it. Basically, it's a book about living longer and having a more fulfilled life. Ikigai is what we call the flow state. Basically, if you ever find yourself doing something that you genuinely enjoy and you kind of lose track in time, but are solely focused on that one thing, and you don't get distracted, and you zone out, but you zone in, if that makes sense. That is called the flow state. And the Japanese place that they went to in Japan, They studied it because the people there live in this state regularly. A lot of these people live to be 100, 110, and even sometimes older than that. And there's a lot of commonalities between what they all have. Ikigai would be the Japanese principle that they all have in common of having the flow state regularly in their lives. But other things would be like they all have gardens, which is pretty interesting to me. They all have something that, even if it's not kids or a family, especially when you're older, your kids don't need you the same way. They wake up, but they have a purpose. They have something they need to get to before the rest of their life can begin for that day. Another thing they have is community, having people around them that they talk to regularly. I read in the book that they actually put money every month into a fund, and then throughout the month they spend that money. So each of them kind of buy in, and it pays for events and things and food and, fun things that they like to do, board games, different outings, movies, things that they like to do together. Ikigai, to be summed up in one sentence, if you're looking to get this book, it's what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. It basically brings all of those together, your mission, your purpose, things like that. And that's what you put into the world. That's the state you want to be at. Okay, so this book, I read this at a very hard point in my life, and it's called Single and Secure by Rich Wilkerson Jr. If you can't be happy by yourself, you're not going to be happy with somebody else. And though I don't even know if now I still agree with that, because I feel like it's a constant progression, I feel like I think me and Rich would also agree that you need to be able to accept yourself and your faults and improve on yourself before you can ever be happy with somebody else. A lot of people say that they need someone or somebody to help them or save them, and the premise that I took away from the book is the fact that you don't need somebody to save you. Jesus already did that. And when you're complete in Him, you don't need anyone else. You can want somebody else, and you can have somebody else, but you don't need them in the same way because you're fully complete with Him. And when you're fully complete and you go find somebody who is also fully complete, you're just better together. You're two separate people, and you're good on your own, but then you come together and you're both better because of it. If you're going through a hard time relationship-wise, or even if you're not and you just want to see how to better yourself, either for your partner or just for your potential partner, this book I honestly recommend. It's definitely improved a lot of how I look at relationships, and also I just love the font. like I just love the font so much. The sixth one is called Atomic Habits by James Clear, which I also did a Billionaires Book Club. It's linked somewhere up there. I don't have this book physically because I give it away regularly, but basically how tiny changes can cause remarkable results. Make bad habits difficult and make good habits super, super easy. For example, bad habits, if you have a habit of eating junk food at night, make it very difficult. Throw out all the pie, throw out all the sugary cereals, make it to where you have to drive to the store at 2 a.m. in the morning if you want a donut. Make it so impossible to do it that you just won't have the effort or energy to even want to. But make the good habits super easy. For me, that's meal prepping. I prep eggs every week. I try to do it on Sundays or Mondays. Or at least the first day off that I get, I'll prep the whole week's worth: chicken, pasta, green beans. I love to cook, but I found that I don't have time to cook. The next book is called Psychology of Money, and as well, I gave this book away. But basically what this book talks about is the fact that we all look at money differently. And if you yourself want to look at money and you kind of find yourself judging other people, either in business or just life, basically what Morgan talks about is the fact that money is specific to who you are. If you have spent your whole life, for example, me, I've looked at cryptocurrency, but I didn't really notice it was a thing until it dropped. Everyone talked about Bitcoin kind of in high school, but it wasn't as big when I was learning about money. It was kind of like a novelty thing. And by the time it got big, it dropped before I could ever get into it. So now I kind of look at crypto like, why are people buying this? And sure, I've bought Ethereum and Bitcoin and like little things here and there, but I'm not as big into it as some people that just drop hundreds and thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on cryptocurrencies just to trade them. And I don't understand it, so I don't get into it. But some people, they'll get into it and learn by getting their feet wet. And that's totally good. It's up to the people and how they want to spend their money. If you're somebody who wants to kind of look at the different angles of money, and also it creates an empathy and a sympathy towards people who have different money habits than you. Because I talk about money with a lot of different people, and I found that for a while there, I will be honest, I was a little judgmental of them. I found that I didn't understand why they're living paycheck to paycheck or why they live the way that they do. But I found that at the end of the day, I want something that they probably don't want. Maybe they want in the sense of, oh, that'd be nice. But I want in the terms of, I will sacrifice as much as I need to get it. And they probably don't have that same mentality. So when I'm looking at it from that perspective, I'm kind of like, okay, I just have a different goal and I have different means of getting there. For example, I want to be a billionaire one day. So I have a different goal than what they do. And so it doesn't make sense for me to apply the means that I'm using on them if they have a different goal. Maybe their goal is to just be happy, enjoy their life, and be secure. If you want that, you don't need $1 billion. And so I understand how when they're living their lives the way that they are, I can just respect that. Our final book on the list is Power of Discipline by Daniel Walter. I started this book in early to mid-December before the year ended. This book, it's super short, and if you want to achieve your goals in record time, as the back says, I highly recommend this one because basically he breaks down how to create discipline in your life, how to navigate the ins and outs of good and bad habits, and how to just improve your life through minor little changes over a couple of months to the point where you're having, a vastly different experience day to day than if you stayed the same. And discipline is hard, but the regret of not doing something is sometimes harder. So I found that this book is definitely incredible. Also, really quick, everybody, I just want to add an honorable mention, and this is probably just because I've read it and it's been helping me with my vending machine business insanely. But this has nothing to do with personal finance, business, relationships, theology, philosophy, whatever other books I recommended. This is just one that I wanted to throw in here because honestly, I think we can all use this as a launch point to get into that next level of finance and next level of financial status. So if you're wanting to start a business that you hear people talking about passive income, I highly recommend this book, How to Start a Vending Machine Business by Walter Grant and Matt Coleman. I've gone through it and I've taken notes, and it basically breaks down all the ins and outs of a vending machine business and from start to finish how to start it. For a lot of us, we don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to drop on a building or a company or things like that. And I think a lot of small businesses are started with just effort. Effort is the equivalent of money in small businesses because you find a way and you make it work. And I think the vending machine business, I'm going to use it to kind of launch me into the next businesses and phases in my life. And I think it's a good start for all of us. And so if you like the idea of managing a few vending machines, maybe get 10 of them that make $35 to $400 a week, check out that book. Again, all these will link down below. I'll link that one as well. And I think that concludes our list for the top 8 books that I read in 2022 that definitely improved my year as I read them. If you guys did enjoy, drop a like and consider subscribing down below. I appreciate you all watching this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Adios.